welcome to my channel Creative Art. I am Nilima and today we are going to do sculpture painting. Sculpture painting is done using sculpture paste and palette knife. Sculpture paste is a decorative paste which can be used to do 3D artwork, to create flowers and do relief works. So friends, do watch my complete video to make a beautiful sculpture painting yourself, and do subscribe my channel friends for more creative art painting videos, and do press the bell icon to get notification for each video I post every week. And in today's tutorial, we are going to make this beautiful sculpture painting of poppy. This time I have kept the flowers really easy and simple to make just by using a red color sculpture paste, and for leaves we are just going to use green. So if you're a beginner, this is the easiest flower you can start with. Now let's check out all the materials I used to make this beautiful sculpture painting. First of all, we're going to need two important things. First is sculpture paste and second is palette knife. And for that, I use decorative plaster sculpture paste from Decor1ative. We are going to use yellow and green color for the background part, and red and Kelly, which is green color, for making poppy flowers and leaves. And for palette knives, I'm going to use two round shaped palette knives, palette knife number 10 and palette knife number 8. These two are the most commonly used palette knives in sculpture painting. And other than that, for leaf, I'm going to use this shape of palette knife, which number is 1003. For base, I'm going to use a round cut MDF board of 10 inches and its thickness is about 5 mm. To do the background stencil design you can see here, I have used a stencil and mixed media paste, mixing it with some yellow acrylic color. For center of the flower, a few yellow rice pollens, and the most important thing for any painting, that is varnish. And for this painting, I'm going to use my favorite varnish, that is Liquitex Professional High Gloss Varnish. If you like to use a matte varnish, you can also buy the matte version of the same varnish. I have been using this varnish from last 3 years on all my favorite artworks, and this is how beautiful and glossy all of them look. All the materials are listed in the description box below with their links from where you can also buy them. First of all, let's start by priming our base, and for that I'm going to use Camel Texture White and a flat hair brush. So using this flat hair brush, start priming the entire base. Now after priming the base, this is how it should look. Let it get dry for at least 30 minutes. Till that, let's start preparing for our sculpture paste. Now to prepare the base, first I'm going to use a lime yellow color decorative plaster sculpture paste from Decor1ative. And the next color I'm going to use is green, and this is how it looks, Kelly green. It's from the same sculpture paste from Decor1ative. First of all, I'm going to directly scoop out some yellow sculpture paste. This is how it looks, such a nice creamy formula, and then directly spread it on the base in this way. I'm using palette knife number 10, but for base you can use any flat palette knife. Now using green, the base looks great now. This is how it looks with yellow and green. In the center we have a little bit of mixing, and this would be fine. If you want to use some stencil, you can also use some stencil. That would look great. I do have few different stencils that I want to use, but as much as I want to keep it simple, I also love to decorate my things. But this time let's use the most simplest and the most commonly available stencil, which is this brick design. I'm going to use this stencil, and to use the stencil, first of all, place it on a place exactly where you want or where you would like to print the design on the stencil. And then use either a mixed media paste or a sculpture paste to get the design on your stencil. And now gently pick up the stencil, and this is a beautiful imprint we have got. I want the same design on this part also. It looks so pretty. So now placing the stencil once again, I'm just going to do few parts. And now again gently lift up, and wow, it looks so pretty. I think a little bit of green got on this part, but no worries. I love the stencil, it looks so pretty. Wow. Now this is how beautiful our base looks with the stencil. Yes, there's a little bit of overlapping I think in this point, but in all this is just going to be covered up. Just the sides of the stencil will be visible, so this looks fine. We will let it rest for some time. Till that, let's start mixing the sculpture paste. And now we are going to use red color sculpture paste from same Dhyan Arts. Now scoop out the amount of sculpture paste you're going to need. Okay, this is the amount I'm going to need. Lay it down in this way and then spread it on your base. This time I'm going to make a left side petal, so I'm spreading the sculpture paste on the left side. Then I'm going to use a palette knife number 10. Start scraping the sculpture paste in this way from one side of the palette knife, which is facing towards you. If you're going to create a left side petal, start scraping from the right side of your palette knife. Keep scraping till you get enough on your palette knife to make a petal. You see, slowly the number of scrapings will create this kind of structure. There will be multiple lines which support each other, and as soon as you can see that there is a flip going to come, that means your petal is ready, almost ready. So now this is my palette, and one by one I'm going to keep all my petals ready before placement. This is how our first petal looks. Let's make more. Now let's do the same from the right side. To make a right side petal, spread out the sculpture paste and then start scraping using your palette knife in this way. Okay, see, I've got enough. This is such a beautiful and thin petal. Lay it down. In the same way, I'm going to make more petals. Now this is how beautiful our base looks when the stencil work is completely dry. So now friends, I have also completed making all my petals, and this is how beautiful all of them look. I have each and every piece. So now let's start placing all these petals one by one on our base to form a poppy flower. First I'm placing a left side petal exactly in this place. When you place this type of petals, make sure to stick them well by pressing them on the base, then picking up the next one. Then let's place few pollens. This is the type of small tiny pollens I'm going to use. For the red poppy, it's best to use either black color pollens or yellow color pollens like these. Few on this side. Then I'm going to place just a little bit of sculpture paste right in the center, so this will support the pollens. Just a little more. Yes. And then I'm going to place a beautiful centerpiece, which is this, which is handmade. Yes, it looks great. Then let's place few more pollens. Now let's start placing the next petal. And then let's put the last one right here. It's going to need a little bit of support. Just need to give the entire flower a very beautiful opening. Now just to give the entire flower some volume, I have placed two supports beneath these two petals so that we may get a very beautiful rising up flower which will look like this from the top. So now friends, I also want to place one more flower and I'm thinking to do it right here. Place a little bit of sculpture paste right here so that we can give this petal some volume. Okay, now I'm going to close it in this way. We have to give it a lot of volume in this place because we are making an overlapping petal. And now let's place the closing petal here. After placing all the petals, this is how beautiful both the flowers look. So now friends, let's start making few stems, and for that I'm going to use Kelly, that is green color sculpture paste, and put it in a piping cone like this. You're just going to need a little amount. Let that sculpture paste get down till the end of the cone. Cut the end tip of the cone in this way using a scissor. And finally, this is how all the sculpture paste will look when it is at the tip or the end of the cone. You see, you get a very nice fine line out of the cone. Just make the thin ones for flower bud or after the flower. Now for the flowers, I'm going to cut a little more so that we get a thick piping here, and place it exactly from the tip of the flower and then bring it down like this. Now for this one, now let's make a flower bud and then few leaves. To make a flower bud, I'm going to use green color sculpture paste, that is Kelly, and palette knife number 10. First, clean the back side of your palette knife. Use a fresh palette knife. Start collecting sculpture paste from 1/2 of your palette knife. I'm going to make it like a flip, like this. Then place it right here. Then do the same from the other side. Clean my palette knife and then again start making the same petal structure from the other side of your palette knife. Okay. Now to make a bud for poppy, here we have two petal structured leaves and two small size of petals. And now we're going to place it exactly in this place. So adjust the base according to your need. I'm going to pull this one first and then gently lay it down here. Mostly we want it to flip. I'm going to place some red color sculpture paste exactly here, and get it a little settled to get some beautiful oval shape. Then pick up the oval petal we made, red color oval shaped petal we made, and place it according to your need. Placing this one can be a little tricky as I'm doing it in front of camera according to the right angles, but when you do it without camera, it's really easy. You just have to understand the shape. Keeping the shape in mind, you can easily do this one. And let's pick up the other petal, and I'm thinking to place it right here. And now pick up the next piece. So this is the part where we should make a nice bulge, which I'm going to create using some extra sculpture paste. Give it a nice curve here. Yes. Now let's make few small and big leaves to place on our base. Just start scraping the sculpture paste from one side in this way till you get a beautiful curving, and then place it like this. Here I'm creating few small leaves. To lay down a straight leaf, you have to press your palette knife in this way and then take it down straight, exactly straight in this way to get this type of leaf. Now let it be there for some time, and after that you can collect it. Now let's place few leaves. I'm going to place one exactly here. Place one more. Take a little bit of sculpture paste in your palm like this, round, and then make it oval. This is how round, big and oval it looks. Now using a palette knife, lift this oval part up and then gently put it on place. And then make a top like this one as I have shown you in my previous tutorials, and then finally place it on the top. Try to stick it over and adjust it nicely with using a wet paintbrush. Now let's make few leaves. Now let's place the first leaf, which looks like this from the back. I'm going to use this palette knife, which is 100 number 2. Let's place the next piece. I can clearly see that this one needs a big support. So I'm going to place here this one. And then let's just do the final piece right here. Now you can see this clear middle gap which we got due to incomplete sliding. So for this kind of gap, what I like to do is take a little bit of sculpture paste, fill in it that gap, make it a complete fulfill leaf like this, and now use a palette knife to gently line the leaf in this way. And now friends, finally this is how beautiful our sculpture painting looks when it is completed. And to make this beautiful painting long lasting, let's secure it using a good varnish. So for sculpture painting, there are two different types of varnish that you can use. First is a spray varnish that you can spray all over your sculpture painting. First, go from the top to bottom, let it rest for 2 to 3 hours, then go from bottom to top, and same, do from left to right and then right to left. This is how you will cover all the parts of the painting and secure and seal everything. The second layer is to do it manually using a flat hair brush and my favorite varnish that I use on most of my paintings, that is Liquitex Professional High Gloss Varnish. To use this varnish, pour a little amount in your palette like this, and then using flat hair brush, gently cover all the areas of your painting. You can see instantly how beautiful and bright the colors are turning. And now finally, this is how beautiful, bright and glossy our sculpture painting looks. Generally, people like to keep their sculpture painting a matte look. I generally prefer to give it a glossy look, and so I use a glossy varnish. If you prefer to give your sculpture paintings a matte look, do try to buy a matte version of the same varnish instead of glossy. This is high gloss varnish, and this is how it looks when you use high gloss varnish. So after varnishing, let your painting get dry for at least 24 hours and then it is ready to hang or place just as you want. So friends, do give it a try, make this beautiful sculpture painting for yourself, and do tell me in the comments below what do you think about this painting. And if you do like my paintings friends, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching. And now finally, this is how beautiful, bright and glossy our sculpture painting looks. Generally, people like to keep their sculpture painting a matte look. I generally prefer to give it a glossy look, and so I use a glossy varnish. If you prefer to give your sculpture paintings a matte look, do try to buy a matte version of the same varnish instead of glossy. This is high gloss varnish, and this is how it looks when you use high gloss varnish. So after varnishing, let your painting get dry for at least 24 hours and then it is ready to hang or place just as you want. And now friends, this is how beautiful, bright and glossy our sculpture painting looks when the varnish is completely dry. It's finally been 24 hours and this is how I have placed my sculpture painting on a table. I absolutely love how rich and red the poppy flowers look in this painting, and the varnish is absolutely increasing more love for it. I have placed a small cutout chipboard which says live your dream. You can also place a butterfly, that is completely your choice. But finally friends, this is how simple and beautiful this painting looks. Friends, if you did like this painting, try watching more similar videos from the same playlist. The link is given in the description box below. And friends, do tell me in the comments below how did you like my videos, and if you do like my videos, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.